This photo was me just a few months ago. I was living a healthier lifestyle than anyone that I knew, so it didn't make any sense at all as to why I had so much acne. I thought that honestly I was just unlucky. Even with my healthy lifestyle of going to the gym 7 days a week, eating only whole foods, and having a super strict skincare routine that I never missed a single day of, I somehow looked worse than all of my friends who would drink beer every single weekend, eat loads of sugar, and basically live off junk food. It turns out that despite my super healthy lifestyle, I was still making wrong decisions which led me to getting acne, which on the flip side is actually good news because that meant that I also had the power to start making the right decisions to finally get rid of my acne. Because after focusing on this one concept, which I'm going to talk about today, in less than 4 months, I stopped getting whiteheads, completely eliminated my inflammation, and it finally felt like I had complete control over my acne. So by the end of this video, you're going to realize how you've been unknowingly giving yourself acne and how you can finally take control and reverse the damage. So you probably think that it's not in your control and having acne is completely up to chance because let's be real, you probably tried everything. You've tried cutting out sugar, you've tried cutting out dairy, replacing your pillowcases, eating whole foods, all of these things, yet you still have acne. The things you do today are going to affect your skin several weeks down the line. So although it feels like you're doing the right things today and tomorrow you get a breakout and it doesn't make any sense, you got to realize that the reason why you get a breakout tomorrow could be because of something you did 7 weeks ago that you completely forgot about. Understand that even if you think you might be doing things perfectly, there are still some things that you can touch up, which I'm going to talk about later, which are going to have positive impacts on your skin several weeks down the line. But that means that you need 100% consistency. You can't be 80%. You can't try a protocol but miss 2 or 3 days out of the week because those 2 or 3 days out of the week are going to give you breakouts 6, 7, 8 weeks down the line. And so the one thing that you want to focus on to make sure that in the next 8, 12, or even 16 weeks you have clear skin is simply this. Just stop spiking your insulin. This is the mistake a lot of people get. A lot of people think getting acne is up to chance because they hear the things about, oh, I want to cut out sugar, that's going to reduce my acne. So they cut out sugar, but then they're still eating a ton of fruit. And your body doesn't care which place sugar is coming from. If it's a can of Coca-Cola or a cup of grapes, it's still going to spike your insulin. And that's the exact reason why people tell you to cut out sugar, because the underlying issue is having your insulin spike. But for most people who just have regular genetics, cutting out that processed sugar is enough. But if you're like me, you've already cut out that processed sugar. So now we need to go one layer deeper and look at, okay, why do we cut out the processed sugar? It's to stop insulin spikes. Okay, well, what else can I do to stop insulin spikes? And what you can do first of all is to just lower the amount of carbs that you're eating every single day. Make sure that you're not eating any carbs for breakfast because that's when your stomach is the most sensitive to quickly absorbing carbohydrates and turning them into glucose, thus spiking your insulin. And now when you do want to eat carbs, like let's say a sweet potato with your dinner, you want to make sure that you're not eating that first. When you understand the concept of how insulin spikes work, you start to understand that the only reason why they happen is because you're essentially shocking your body with carbohydrates. So if you eat carbs first thing in your meal, like having your sweet potato before your steak or your eggs or your salad, it's going to spike your insulin. But if you reverse that and you have the salad first, then you eat the steaks with the eggs, and halfway through eating that, you start eating the sweet potato, the absorption of the carbohydrates and the process of getting it turned into glucose is going to be a lot slower, resulting in a slower insulin spike. On top of that, you got inflammation. So those insulin spikes do contribute to inflammation, but there are some inflammatory foods you can eat that don't spike your insulin. So you want to tackle both issues. And the first one is dairy. Most people, when they cut out dairy, they see significant improvements in their acne. And it's the same thing that I did. I haven't had dairy in nearly 16 weeks now. Now, obviously, it's going to take time. This isn't an overnight fix. And just like I said, as much as it's in your control, it's going to take several weeks for it to work. But I've given you the science and I've given you the actual the scientifical steps to make sure that it works because I have done it myself. So if you can just trust that and just be like, okay, as long as I eat this, as long as I control my insulin spikes, my acne will get removed. You will start to see results in as little as just a few weeks. And then you'll finally understand that your acne is entirely in your control. It's entirely your fault as to why you have acne. It might seem unfair, it might seem unlucky because of your genetics and the way that your body produces insulin, but at the end of the day, there's still things that you're doing that are causing you insulin spikes. And so if you want this journey to be even easier and find out what recipes you can make in order to not spike your insulin, but still be active in the gym, still be able to go to school or work and having, easy meal prep dishes to make that don't take too much time, join the free community, link in the description, and you can get direct input from me as well as my recipe library and also a complete course that I made that breaks down the biggest myths in the skincare industry when it comes to removing your acne.